All right, let's do this. Whoa. Whoa. It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth for another episode of Sober Wednesday, the hour that we dedicate to be of service to those who are suffering out there on Spaceship Earth, which could be anybody. There's all sorts of people hurting right now, and most people don't know how to ask for help or get help, and so this is the gateway to help. So if you're suicidal, this place is for you. If you're depressed, this place is for you. If you're drunk, on drugs, overeating, oversexing, overgambling, overdebting, over whatever it is, and you want to get over the over that you're overing, then this is where we're at. So again, I ask that if you're not here to get help or be of service and you're just hanging out to see what's going on, please keep the chat free for those who are suffering out there, because there are a lot of people that are trying to find a way home. Hello, everybody. Benji, Sal, Christopher, Chicago. So we're here. This isn't an AA meeting. This isn't a group of any kind. This is just an hour in the week dedicated to being of service, right? Helping myself, basically. What's up, Kimmy, dude? Sober Wednesday here. Be kind in the chat. No sauce, no politics. That's right. So let's open it up. Let's open up with the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, that's a good place to start. God bless everybody. Yeah, that's a good place to start. So generally speaking, I do read chapter 5, or How It Works, from chapter 5 of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is a template. This is a template for how to adjust your life. This isn't specific to alcohol. Alcoholism's a spiritual malady, allergy of the body, broken spirit. So let's read How It Works, and then I got to go run in and take Al's empanadas out of the oven. Chapter 5, How It Works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who's thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those, too, who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what has happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have, and you're willing to go to certain lengths to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. Some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer. What? I know. I'm going to come in a second, okay, and hook you up. Easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil. Till we let go. Absolutely. The hard part. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful, without too much help. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. When it's God, may you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. Praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. It's the rub right there. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. And you've exclaimed, what in order? I can't go through with it. Don't be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic and the chapter to the agnostic and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas: that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism, and that God could and would if he were sought. So there you have it. That's the 12 steps right there. That's how it works. That's how it's laid out. Let me go. I gotta take Owl's dinner out of the oven. Just take me a second. Birdie bird. Pulling it out. Okay. All right. I know what. I got it. Never mind. All good. Love you. The wisdom to know the difference. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know. What's going on out there? What's going on this Sober Wednesday, dude? Is it a full moon tonight? Fantastic. It should be coming up. Right over there, I think. No, right over here. Pretty sure it's right over here. Really? Full moon? Exciting. What is that thing up there in the sky? We don't know. Mahalo from Canada. Right on. Yeah, weed's a gnarly addiction. Anyway, what are we getting into, man? Yeah, Nate. That's the only rule around here is no caps, but we'll let you slide on this one. Let you slide. And so anyway, it's all the serenity prayer. I heard it in the serenity prayer, right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So in our life here, right? Me and the family, we can't control the outside world, right? It's doing whatever it's doing. It's the world's gone mad, blah, 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 right? But the courage to change the things we can, right? And the wisdom to know the difference. So, we're gearing up for the big California exit here in like 3 or 4 months, right? Like seriously setting sail. And it's kind of a gnarly thing because all of a sudden it's like the ball is moving in a certain direction. And that is like the wisdom, like, yes, the world's gone mad, right? And I had to sit back patiently for the last year and a half to wait for the go code, right? The wisdom to know the difference. That's a pretty like sobering concept, the wisdom to know the difference, right? And a lot of that time is it's about patience, right? Because I'm powerless, like it's unmanageable. I don't really have the ability to control any of this. I can only control myself. So if you look over the last year and a half, my alcoholism the whole time was like just bolt. And I don't mean bolt by like my family, like bolt with the family. Like we need to go. We need to bail. We need to jump from the frying pan into the fire. We need to just react to the situation. And that's not very sober, dude, right? That's very unmanageable. That's very powerless, right? Because again, if I look if I look into myself, right? Because I went and did the work and the inventories and all the stuff. You go look in this thing as you may humbly we're entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character, right? So my character defects are reaction to situations quickly and rapidly, and usually that's about what's the easiest way to react to a situation is go to another physical location, right? Like just I'm gonna go over there, dude. But the beauty of it all is a year and a half later, if I had responded to my initial thought process, right? Gotten all like gnarly about it, like we need to do this. I became the director in the play. I tried to assert power and manageability and go, all right, everyone, we're loading up, we're going, dude, and yanked people out of their journeys, right? It would have really caused some unmanageability and some powerlessness and some chaos and the whole thing, right? So the thing that I've learned in sobriety is as much as I want to do, it's not about me, right? So my primary purpose over the last year and a half was to be of service, right? Was to be of service to my wife, my daughter, my son, myself, my community, and actually just sit and allow God to show up, right? And the interesting part about it when you do that is if I had moved on based upon my initial thought process a year and a half ago, I wouldn't be in such a good place to do it now, mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? Like now that we've had this sort of growth, like we've grown to the place where we can exit calmly and rationally dignified in God's grace versus reacting to said situation of the thing that God granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, right? The things. So we were reacting to the things we can't, or I was reacting to the things I cannot change, thinking that if I go over there, it'll change. But that again is not the wisdom to know the difference, right? At that time, a year and a half ago, the thing that I could change was my need to make my life more difficult. See, because there's this weird thing like time sort of telescopes in and out. Like one of the things is time's a very subjective reality, right? The alcoholic mind tells me I need to solve my problem right now. I need it right now. I don't want to live in discomfort, disease. I need myself to not be experiencing whatever it is, right? I need to only be in the pleasure zone. And what I've learned over the years is the whole thing is the gift comes later. The gift comes later, right? So I'm sitting here, right? We're gearing up for the big move. And as you know, moving will test your sobriety. all day long. And but the thing is it's not a reactionary move. It's an actually like super sober thing because everybody's on board. You get what I'm saying? Is like the thing that unmanageability, right? I can't control other people's timelines. I can't control other people's perception. I'm not the director of other people. But when you sign up with other people, right? When you part of like, I don't really talk about this a lot in these programs, but a sober person, when they get into like a serious relationship, i.e. a marriage or birthing children with somebody else, part of that is the wisdom to know the difference. You no longer get to like just be like and force people's hands. Like you signed up to be of service to these other people, right? So being what I've learned over time is being of service is being able to sit back patiently and allow people to come to their own conclusion, so to speak. And when they do, it like makes it all that much easier to do what you need to do because you're not operating on baggage, right? I got what?
I know this piece is up. They're in the garage. I know.
Okay. I'm going to pull your empanadas out. Hold on. I need to pull your empanadas out. Come on, man. The wisdom to know the difference, right? The wisdom to know the difference, right? So the wisdom for me was being allowed to was letting it spool out, right? Was that's the wisdom. See, I didn't know what I couldn't tell you what was. I couldn't have told you a year and a half ago what was Grandma's trying to change the things I can and accept the things I cannot. I couldn't have told you what I could change or could not have changed last year about like life in this new realm we're in, right? So I couldn't have told you what I was absolutely able to affect change in and not able to affect change in. So I look at it at very, very much as the wisdom to know the difference was gained through time. Like the wisdom I had was not to know the answer, not to even know the difference, but to allow time to run its course. And so now that time's run its course, like instead of it being a reaction, it's actually a solution to this reality, which is super, super kind of exciting on that level because when it's like, look, it's been a difficult year. I'm sure everyone else has had their difficulties. But the difference was whenever it got difficult, I don't need to run anymore. I think that's the one real gift that sobriety's given me is like, I don't need to run. I don't need to run from any of it. I don't need to run from myself, my wife, my problems, my debts, my whatever it is. There's no need to run anymore. So that allows me to have the ability to gain some perception of my reality. And usually what I found is just turn it back over to God, basically. Like, there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now, right? So, yeah, sometimes it's the wisdom to just leave it alone. But that's tough because again, as if you're an alcoholic or someone who's dealing with addiction or what, you want your problem solved quickly, dude. Like, if you had asked me like a year and a half ago, like, all right, this is what you're signing up for, I'd be a little bit like, dude, really? Like, we can pull that off. And here we are, right? It's all okay. It's all okay. So what it's all given me is the ability to look within myself and know that I am the creator of my own misery, right? I'm the one who can create misery quicker than anyone. Like, for the first time in the last year and a half or 2 years, I really have no idea what the future is going to bring, which is super exciting. Like, I think the last year and a half, it was pretty much like life in the bubble, dude. Like, all right, we're here, everything's cool. Like, let the hurricane spin, right? Let the hurricane spin, and so here I am, like, at the jumping off point of the new unknown, and that new unknown, I have no idea what it looks like, man. And it can be pretty, like, you can get pretty like nervous about it, right? Like, there's no quick thing. So, like, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom I know to know the difference. So that, like, even on a practical level, like, I know no longer there's no changing the environment that I'm in, right? Like, the one thing I can do is make a casual retreat to a new reality. Whoa, that's like gnarly for like an alcoholic who's learned to be in the space I'm at, right? Like I can fully I can just be in it now. Like that, I guess that's what I'm getting, is one of the gifts I've gotten is I can just be. But all of a sudden, when you're not being, it brings up all sorts of like energy, right? And you're like, wow, that energy is like intense. But that energy is that is the feeling of God doing the third step, right? I turn my will, my life over to the care of God as I understand him, dude. And let's see what we got here. Scott Kreglski, 20. Day 20 of sober October for me. Also hit my goal weight of 145 days. Do you ever check your Patreon messages? I didn't even know Patreon was still up and running, dude. That thing. No, I will though, Scott. I had no idea anyone even knew the Patreon. Is there the link even still there? Interesting. I appreciate the red. Good work, 20 days, dude. No, I don't think it's scary out here. Alcoholism is not who you are. Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing about the alcoholic mind, right? It is who I am. Like, I am, like, again, as I get where you're going, Simul, I get where you're going with that. It's separating the self-talking mind from the true spiritual self inside the thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, you can be scared. I'm busy, Bird. Okay. Just eat your empanadas. Did you eat enough? Okay. Can I be allowed to do my thing, bud?
Back there, do you think it's scary?
No, you're good. DJ Haloite. 100 days clean off of opiates. Dude, triple digits. That gets me fired up, man. That is beautiful, dude. 100 days off of opiates. You got it now, dude. At least today, right? Wow, dude. Dan Z. Hello, dude. Hello, dude. No partying in the lot, man. No lot lizards allowed. I developed gnarly Adderall habit while attending UC Berkeley, which turned into methamphetamine habit. I graduated top of my class and currently work for one of the top tech companies in SF. But I'm scared this habit could turn into something worse. I don't know, dude. Does it need to be any worse than that? It sounds like it's worse. It's funny, the scaling issue of it, Damien, right? Like that, reading that to a sober guy, that sounds absolutely as bad as it could be. I mean, minus the like severed limbs and the crinkled up cars and the thing, like tweaking out for the soivilization, dude. Yeah, it's gnarly, dude. That seems pretty hectic, dude. You might want to examine that, dude. I don't know how bad do you need it to get? I think that's always the thing, is like, how bad do people need it to get, man? How bad do you really need it to get before you're like, oh, this is bad? So and I'm only reading this because it's fascinating, because I love it. I remember when early sobriety, someone asked me, like, I was like, oh, I drank a couple beers, and that guy's like, what's a couple? Talking to like a regular dude. He's like, what's a couple? And I was like, well, like 8 to 12. That dude's like a couple of me is like 2, maybe 3. Like, it's a scaling difference. Like that's what's so interesting. So when I developed a gnarly Adderall habit while attending UC Berkeley, which turned into a methamphetamine habit. I graduated top of my class, currently working for one of the top tech companies. I'm scared this habit could get, dude. I would say you're there. You obviously intuitively understand that it is. And so it's a fascinating dilemma from within inside. Yeah, DJ killing it, dude. That's huge. Off the opiates. That's radical, man. That is radical, especially this time and age where they're just, it's super saturated. But it's so fascinating what the mind thinks on one side of the sober reality versus because there's like a clear demarcation, right? Like when you're on the one side of it, you have no other like idea. So like, imagine this. Imagine sobriety being a little bit like this. So being loaded, drunk on drugs, meth, and opiates, and eating acid, and being weirdo, wedging too many Oreo cookies, whatever it is. That's like running around on the land, like, right? Running around on the land. And you're running around on the land, and you're constantly running around, let's say, the edge of the continent, right? You're just running around the edge of the continent, like, and being loaded. Sobriety is the equivalent of the ocean on the other side, which circles the whole planet, right? But you imagine being loaded as you have no idea there's an ocean. You're just running along the continent, edge of the continent. You're like, I don't know why I'm running around. There's an edge, but you have no idea on the other side it's an ocean that encompasses the entire planet or realm. Okay, good. Okay, good work. No, not yet. Just leave it in there. So it's that thing. So like when I was out there solving my problems with drugs and alcohol and personally abusive behaviors to myself, I had no idea there was an ocean that circled every continent, that covered my entire reality, called sobriety. I had no idea. You could not have explained the ocean to me. You could not have been like, no, there's all sorts of like creatures that live in there, and like you can like sail across it, and it's like it's everywhere. It's like, and it's made out of salt water and it's liquid. Like, you could not have explained the ocean to me as a loaded wasted, out of control land dude standing on the land, running back and forth along the edge of the continent. Dude, you could not have explained it to me. I would have, and I wouldn't have. I could have like, what is that out there? I don't know. So it's interesting. It's interesting, the whole thing of like when someone's like, well, I'm afraid it's going to get bad. I would argue it's already bad. You wouldn't even debate the concept. Like you do realize your average bear out there, a person or whatever, isn't tripping, dude. They aren't debating whether their methamphetamine problems a problem or not. They're not afraid of it because they don't have one, dude. They're fully aware that they live in the ocean on the land at the same time. They know that there's so I guess it's sort of what I'm getting at is imagine spending your whole life up to this point knowing only the concept of land and having no idea that the ocean was the predominant reality. Think about that for a second. Think about that for just a trippy second. I'm thinking about that for a second. That's kind of like, I wish I could nail it better into like one sentence, dude, but that sort of is profound, dude, in like a weird way, because you just don't know. Like, think about this. Like, I know people, like, do you hear about them? They've never seen the ocean, have no idea what the ocean is, have no idea. It just stretches off into the horizon for as far as a P900 can zoom in on the ship sailing to infinity, right? But so imagine that is like what it is. Like, imagine you're just a landlocked person with drugs, alcohol, and you just have no idea that the ocean even exists. Think about that. That's crazy, dude. Yeah. So that's what was offered to me as a dude, is the understanding that the ocean is the truth and the land is subject to the whims of the ocean, right? Because for a whole time I just thought that like the land was the way it was. Like, you just do this, it's all this. And then you get sober and you're like, whoa, dude, like there's an ocean and I can like sail across it, and the whole there's dolphins and whales in it. And so, yeah, I don't know, dude, where I'm going with it, but God's, but see, interesting, like if you take it to the next level, God's love is the ether, right? The atmosphere, because the atmosphere is even gnarlier than the ocean, right? Who knows where the atmosphere ends, right? at the firmament. But again, we're drifting into a whole nother conversation here. But it's funny to realize how we think humans are specialists, but we are actually the exact. Yeah, dude, we're not specialists at all, dude. We're just total. We're specialists at abstracting ourselves out of reality. Like, no, I watch my cat sometimes. I'm like, what is that dude thinking about? Like, because our cat's pretty tuned in. Mike, Mike's gnarly. I was like, what is that dude tripping on? And I guarantee that guy is not like tricking himself into some abstract concept about like me and my fate and like what's it all about, and this sucks, or this is rad, or like I need God in my life, dude. Like Mike's just in it, like just in it, cat-like, right? He's got his catitude going strong. So I think that like the hardest part for the alcoholic is truly being sensitive to this whole thing's screwball, dude. Like, it's not what it appears to be, right? And our first taste that it isn't what it appears to be is like our addictive nature plugging into said substance. You know, like the minute, like they talk about it, like that first drink, like the first time the pot really works, the first this, the first, dude, what was like, it's, the first was always the best, right? Because it activates something. And the person the people that are the normies doesn't do that for them. They're just like, yeah, whatever, dude. It's like drinking milk to them. Yeah. And so you wonder, like, what is really alcoholism, dude? Like, it's a spiritual malady. It's a mental obsession. It's an allergy of the body, right? And I think that it comes in an order. I really think it's all just a spiritual malady, right? Because you wouldn't really need to like get all loaded and spun out if you weren't on the mission to find God, right? Because if you could just sit here and be content and like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like, yeah, like, sure. I mean, I'm sure you can. I'm sure people do. I don't know. I have no idea what that experience must be like. I was working with this gal at this rehab, right? She was like a normie, dude. She was working there. I forget what her deal was, but she was like, she was my boss even, dude. And we were sitting there hanging out and talking. She was a cool gal. I liked her, dude. Forget her name, but I liked her, dude. And we were sitting there talking one night, and we're talking about, because she said normie. She had no idea what was going on with any of these people at this rehab we worked out. Like, she just didn't know what it was about, dude. She was just some kid with a degree that like worked at this place, right? And so we're talking, and I was like, and I looked at her, I go, do you ever wake up in the morning and go, this sucks? And she's like, no. I go, what do you do when you get up in the morning? She's like, I just get up and go about my day. I go, you don't wake up in the morning and just wake up and the first thought out of your head is like, this sucks. She's like, no. I go, dude, you're lucky, dude. That's why you're not a drug addict and an alcoholic. I wake up in the morning and a lot of the times I go, this sucks. And it could be like, dude, I've done that sitting at surf spots when the waves are pumping, camping out. Like, I wake up and be like, yeah, it sucks. I don't want to get up, dude. It's too much this. It's too much that. And so that's like the alcoholic condition, is like, we know that there's something amiss here. And it's not even it has nothing to do with the heat, the temperature, the clothes we're wearing, anything. It's just, we wake up and we know that something's missing. What is that something? The sober person realizes that something is God, right? It's all about God. Whatever that is for you, dude, because it's a God of your own understanding, dude. So don't let this think you got to join the God squad to get sober. No, it's a deeper understanding as you move through it, because the first thing you just need is just like the realization that this sucks, and whatever you're doing ain't going to fix that. It doesn't matter how much cocaine you drop. It doesn't matter how many people you bang. It doesn't matter how many thises you buys or beers you drink or whatever, you still are just going, man, this blows, bro. Like, what is this, dude? Like, what is this? And then you get to this thing, like, sobriety is like, for me, again, I speak for myself, is when I wake up and I go, this sucks. I go, if I can catch it, right? Sometimes I can't catch it, dude. Sometimes the self-talking mind has totally inhabited my reality before I even open my eyes. I'll open my eyes and I'll already be underwater. Like, dude, like, so like, if I'm lucky, if I get the crack in there, little sunlight of the spirit, dude, I can wake up and go, this sucks. And I can go, all right, I need to go find God right now. Like, where is God? And of course, God's right there. But see, I'm not. See, that's the thing, is like, there's somewhere inside of me, right? Somewhere inside of me is literally a black hole where I can just go hide from God. I can, like, because God's all around me, dude, everywhere, dude. Like, I know this. I feel this. I experience this. I'm sober. I get it, dude. but I can wake up and hide inside of myself from God and not be like, how, I don't know how it's even possible to do it, but like when you realize this about the condition that is alcoholism, drug addiction, depression, whatever you want to call it, if you get lucky, you have the tools, right? So if I'm smart enough, and I guess I don't know if it's smart enough, if I'm intuitive enough, wise enough, the minute I hear my head tell me this sucks, I got a chance. If I can get the crack to go, okay, I'm powerless. This is unmanageable. All right. Like, okay, sucky. This is powerless and unmanageable. So if I can get that kernel of a thought, that leads me to go, having made a conscious decision. What is it? What is step 2? Just came to believe that power greater than myself could restore us to sanity, right? So if I can go from the powerlessness thing, I can go, okay, well, something can make me sane again. I know this because I've been sober long enough to be like, I can be sane for brief moments if and when I'm willing to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him. So that I can do that in a split second if I want to, right? But see, I'm an alcoholic, so sometimes I just like to pretend I can't do that and be miserable and let it run my show. Man, I don't have enough coffee, dude. I eat, and I can begin to spiral on the thing. And what I mean by spiral is I can be like an a-hole to my wife. I can be a dick to my child. I can be everything I don't want to be. I can be all my character defects, all of my stuff in 6 and 7, right? But again, as you know, I'm asking God to remove my defects of character, right? So God's like sitting there like, all right, dude, how far are you going to go into your ridiculousness before you just really just go, I'm powerless, dude. I'm super powerless over it. There's no fixing this. And I think that when you get on the other side of this whole thing, you realize that it doesn't matter how much drugs you take, how many people you bang, how many Oreo cookies you eat, how many Lego sets you buy, how many waves you catch, how many skate parks you skate, how many mountains you ski, how many. None of it really does the job to like make it go away. The God-sized hole, right? Because that's all it is. If you can feel it. See that the trick, right? The trick is one of my defects, right? Is I have like spiritual amnesia. I can pretty much go to bed with the whole riddle solved. I can spend a whole day and pretty much get to a place and be like, all right, I mean, I got this. Dude, this is great. I got this. Dude, I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I got this plan. This is all going to happen, man. Like I'm going to bed on a good note. Like, yeah, yeehaw. I got it. And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, where am I? And what am I? And who am I? And you've forgotten that, like, you're not even looking for God, right? Because the disease, right? The disease has really been whispering in your mind all night, like, hey, dude. So I'll wake up literally, dude, and I'll already be defeated long before I woke up. Like, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, bling, and just be like, boy, dude, you're here again. You're here again. And so the thing that I know is I'm not going to drink over it. I'm going to do any blow over it. I might wedge some cookies over it, but I will sit in that, right? And it gets me back to where I started the story, like, or my talk, or whatever this is. Like, sometimes the wisdom to know the difference is just to wake up and just be like, it sucks. I suck. My body feels lame. I feel lame. Nothing feels right about this reality. And it's if you're willing to admit that truth, because this is a program of thorough honesty, right? If you're willing to admit that truth to yourself, it's pretty much dispels the whole thing. It's the battle to pretend that's not going on that I've noticed from my own experience. The more I pretend that no, you're lying to yourself. It's blue, it's sunny outside, the surf's pumping. Yeah, it's all rainbows and unicorns everywhere you go, dude. You're just lighten the mood, bro. Just change it, dude. Like the more I do any of that kind of junk, it doesn't work for me, right? Because that's me trying to assert my power. That's me trying to assert my control and my manageability. For me, the only way I've ever found to get out of it that it sucks is to go, it does. Now what? Like, okay, so it sucks. Now what? Well, that can be my bottom. So it goes back to even that Damien, right? It goes back to that thing of like you were saying is like my bottom now, like my bottom isn't me drunk on some mountaintop or doing a bunch of blow or just being miserable. My bottom is pretty much like waking up and going, this sucks. Like that's my bottom. Like I can sit there, I can dig lower if I want. I can bark at my wife. I can, yell at somebody, do whatever. What I can do, I do 1,000 things to make my bottom lower that day. Or I can pretty much sit there and go, okay, I can't control that. The wisdom to know the difference, right? I don't have the ability to control that. But what I do have the ability to do is go to God and be like, all right, God, like, what? And God's like, dude, like, what are you fighting down there? And I'll be like, I don't know. God's like, are you sure you don't know? And then and because see, the thing that I've realized is like, I do know what it is. God knows why I'm tripped up. God knows why I'm underwater. God knows why I'm not functioning in any given day. And God wants me to go ask the question so I can do the work. And it usually comes down to like fear of some kind, right? And we got to be fearless in this thing. See, like, that's the thing is like, there's all sorts of things I'm not afraid of, but the fear, what is the fear? Well, it always usually comes down to one thing. It's dying without God's love, right? Because there's one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. And if I can't find it now, when am I going to find it? Like my job is to find it now. Like how, what, huh? Gnarly. Anyway, I don't know, dude. What do we got out there, dude? What do we got out there, dude? What do we got? Embrace the powers of the female, dude. Yeah, dude. Of course. And the kaleidoscope. Yeah, dude. You're obviously familiar with my fictional world, dude. Tuning in from Tennessee, not gonna lie, it's been gnarly week dealing with the Monopoly money. Glad to, yeah, dude. Totally, dude. I get it, Flaming. I'm same boat, dude. Same boat. But the one thing that has the hardest part is just getting to the point of whatever it is, dude. Annabella Herbert, dude, you need to go away, dude. You're bad vibes here, dude. See, it's the weird thing, dude. Why are you here? That's my question. Just to do a little sideways. Why are you here? Obviously, you don't want to be here. Obviously, you have an issue. Why are you here? That's the question you need to ask. You need to ask me anything. Why are you here? It's okay. Simone, it's no, it's not just a question. Why are you? I'm asking you a question. Why are you here? Oh, you're super rude, dude. You're super rude, Annabelle Herbert. And so now that you've fully crossed the boundaries and you've been super rude, why are you here? Why are you here? I'm asking you now, dude. You're the one who went and stuck your rudeness in the middle of like what we're doing here. So why are you here? It doesn't offend me, dude. You just broke what we're doing here. So why are you here? Like, why are you here right now? So okay, so you like my vids, but you don't find any value in them. So you're devaluing me. No, dude, I think you're rude, very rude how to do that when we're doing what we're doing here. It's this is why are you here? I just want to know, why are you here? Like, why? Like, why? What is it for you to come in like that and be a scumbag? Like, why are you here? Because I'll straight up call you out on that, dude. If you don't know why, you don't have any self-reflection to come in and do your scumbaggery, dude. No, you don't. You don't like my stuff at all, dude. Because then you would not come and violate the space that we're putting out. You're not a fan, dude. You're anything but a fan. You're a trespasser and you're a belligerent, dude. So please just delete yourself and go somewhere else, dude, because you have violated the sanctity of this hour that we do for people that actually are trying to get through the whole thing. So anyway, yeah, I get it. No, so but anyway, no, how about you move on? How about you move on? And here, how about I just delete you? And you're not welcome. So anyway, yeah. Well, that's that. So there it is right. That's it. It was all meant to be like my thing, right? We all make great bets. Because again, is the weird thing is as an alcoholic, as someone who negotiates the reality constantly, dude. That's it right there, man. It's the constant battle against. Well, of course, it was fully meant to derail the frequency, but that again is where the beauty lies. Like the frequency is meant to be derailed constantly because it's powerless, right? Like I am 100% powerless over the thing. Well, it's a boundary issue, Kimmy. It's not even a drama. It's like just straight up, like we have a pretty clear boundary here. It's generally respected what we do for an hour. I've never seen that person before. And, again, I find it to be that weird thing where like, yeah, it offended me. And not the nature of what the comment was, because I have no qualms about like being like, hey, I don't ever mention it on this hour, dude. So I'm not going to mention it right now. But what offended me about it wasn't the nature of what it was the interruption and bringing that into this space, right? Because like for me personally, like this is my hour to be an alcoholic. Like, right? Like I don't do what I used to do as an alcoholic up until, a year and a half ago, right? Like I can't be part of that anymore. So this is my way to secure my own sobriety, right? Like if like I do this this is for me, dude, ultimately. And the for me is to be of service for an hour. It's the bare minimum I can do because ultimately, like, it's like a fishing expedition, right? Like, people get a hold of me and they go, hey, dude, I will do this. So when you insert an outside concept like that is meant to elicit some sort of negative reaction, that's not what bothers me about it. It bothers me that this space isn't respected, because there's it's like I've given to the fact that there's a seriousness to what like is going on out there. And we started a new celebrate recovery step study over here this evening. It will be my second time through the steps. Oh, good for you, Ryan. Solid, dude. No, I appreciate it, Rick. It's again it's good. Like, I don't mind touching that energy either, dude. Because again, is like, yeah, that's my that can be my whole trip, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that can be the whole thing. My alcoholic mind will devalue me from the minute I wake up, dude. Like, be like, man, like, what's your thing, dude? Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. You can only give away what you have. Some of us seek to people like you. You are very wise and profound. Keep on moving, bro. Yeah, dude. I get it. No, it's again is that's for me, right? Because that is part and parcel with exactly where I'm at in the thing, dude. These are the new questions of the new reality right here, right now. Passing the hat. Thank you, Isaiah Approach. Because it can be, you can get as jacked up on fear as you want, because it's all right, you know, like, this is something I fully like advise you back on the sober trip, is like, you got to be really careful of the crabs in the pot, man. And the thing that a lot of people will do is they want you to fail in sobriety, especially people that are dependent upon you being a lunatic. They want you to stay a lunatic because it enables them to appear not to be lunatics. And so it becomes this thing where, like, the jealous opposition in sobriety is out there. Like, there are people that will absolutely be in sobriety trying to get you to fail, which is his twist. Because the people I know outside of sobriety, dude, that I used to get my biggest supporters of my sobriety are my friends that are still loaded and still shooting dope and being lunatics. Because you know what? Those dudes root for me harder. Thank you, Leggy Maggie. Those people root harder for me than anyone, because, like, it's very interesting, dude. I don't know, dude. It threw me off course. I'm struggling with fear too, BB. It's part of the ritual, man, of the day. If I wasn't afraid, I wouldn't need God, man. And I don't know if fear is the right word. I'm more terrified than anything, dude. I'm not afraid anymore, dude. Like, I am not worried about the envelopes requesting bills be paid, or the IRS, or any of this stuff anymore. I'm more terrified that, like, I'm more terrified of failing God and crumbling under the weight of my own thing, right? Like, I know I'm not going to get loaded today, but I ultimately, like now that the marathon started and you just can't rest anymore. Like, I'm tired, man. Yeah. I think all of us, dude, all of us who have been staying true and in the space is high fructose corn syrups, the brutalest stuff there is, dude. Rick Pearson, thank you. Right on. Yeah, I appreciate it, you guys, man. It's the thing of falling short, right? Like, falling short. I've been listening to this dude lately. we're kind of wedging out. So on the final thing of the thing is, look, dude, and then I'll talk a little bit more because I got something to say. I thought right now. But look, on the finishing the hour here, look, if you're suicidal, please call somebody. Do not take your life today, tomorrow, anytime. Your life is of utmost importance to you, God, and everyone around you. Look, you may not think that people love you or want you or care about you. You may feel isolated and alone. But the fact of the matter, there's the moon right up there. The fact of the matter is God loves you, dude. And you may not understand what that means today, but allow yourself to find out what that means. So please call the suicide prevention line. Someone usually chimes in the number. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Isaiah Approach. 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-TALK is the suicide prevention. Whatever it is, dude, it's a temporary situation. Please call somebody. That's what they do, man. They'll help you. If you're an alcoholic in the continental United States of America, you can type in Central Office AA, your town. You'll get a number, a list of meetings. Call that number. Talk to someone there. It's just going to be someone who's different than me, but the same. And we want to help, dude. We want to help you get over your hurdle. And the bravest thing you can do is admit that you need help, dude. That's once you do that, like you're almost home. And if you're suffering from mental health issues and depression and all of those kind of things, please seek help. Talk to someone, man. Don't keep it inside, dude. Gosh, we lost a lot of people this year, dude. I know too many people that took their own lives. I know more people that killed themselves this year than I do who died of the coof. So yeah, man, it's no joke, dude. And so what I was on the thought I was thinking about, I've been listening to this guy Pockets of the Future a lot lately. He's been telling his whole life story. I don't even remember what the point is, was why I was bringing it up, but it's this thing, like he was talking about how he failed to raise his children, how he dreamed of out of here from New York, dude. We're doing it here, Shoemaker. And he was talking about how, his kids are like, how he failed. He had a dream of how he wanted to raise his kids, right? And he failed. His kids don't even like him anymore. And he doesn't have a good relationship with them and all of that stuff, right? And if you wanted to ask me, like, the thing that terrorizes me, right? That terrorizes me is failing my boy, right? Is winding up somewhere in the distant future. And I abandoned ship on these principles that God gave me, right? This sobriety, this thing, dude, this unmanageability, this gift to go to him. And that's I guess what I'm saying, and even started this talk about earlier, is when you realize that one of the things you have to do in sobriety is allow yourself not to make it worse, dude. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm a botch, dude. Like I'm a like super rad dad. I'm a great dad, and I secretly fail constantly. And I worry about it. Like, that's what terrorizes me. If there's any thought that terrorizes me, is my boy waking up one day and just being like, I don't want to hang out with you. You're an a-hole, Dad. That would be that's the gnarliest for me. I'm not worried about anything else except that. And that ties in a lot, it ties into mom, how I deal with his mom and my wife and his sister, my stepdaughter. It deals with how we move through time and space. We had an awesome mountain bike ride today. We went on a mountain bike ride. It was beautiful, dude. But there's that moment, right? Like, when you go, the train has left the station, right? And you can't go back. You can't go back, right? So my goal is to take care of myself today for tomorrow, right? Make myself a better tomorrow today, right? And try to make my world a better place. But see, I'm an alcoholic. See, I wake up sometimes and I'm like, I don't know what to do, dude. I don't know how to do this, right? And it leads to all the bedevilments. But I'm getting better at it. It's like a race. It's like a race, dude. It's a race to be a better human being and not like, yeah, it's that weird thing. I set a bar pretty high for myself that I keep trying to bang my head on, right? It's just, so I guess what I'm saying is we're our own worst enemies. When I get out of the way and I let God run the show, dude, it's all okay. I don't even know what I'm sharing about right now. I'm sharing about thank you for the larger, earlier message in the streams 5 today. Hamish, God bless you, brother. Maxed out bear. Yeah. It's going to be okay, man. Like, that's the thing. Look, on the way out the door, I'm going kind of long because I just felt like I had to rebound off of what that energy was. And that energy was very profound. And why is it that? Is because that is my mind all the time. Like, that person's comment is my mind. Like, that's the one thing I know. So that exchange you had was me talking, like battling my mind, telling my darkness to leave me, telling my inner demons to take a step back. Please leave me so that God can come back inside, so that I can be whole and safe within myself, right? See, the most dangerous person I know is me. It's not some dude in some uniform or some institution or anything. It's me, dude. It's me. And since it's not about me, it's about my boy, dude, my son, my wife, my daughter. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh no, dude, I stumbled into something right here at the end that's like, I need to examine a little deeper, dude. Anyway, it's yeah, amen, dude. Yeah, something trippy surfaced in there, dude. I gotta go do a little deep diving with God and just go, what was that, dude? Because something, right? That is like a real, because it's one doesn't mean anything without the other. But with that, I said, like, that's the beauty of being sober. Like, I'm not afraid of it, dude. Like, I'm not afraid of being terrified by what is going on inside of me. Like, I'm gonna go. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk in the house. I'm gonna eat some food because I think I'm hungry. I'm gonna hang out with Owl. His mama's about to come home. I'm gonna give her a big hug and a kiss. I'm gonna tell her I love her. I'm gonna tell him I love her. I'm gonna tell my stepdaughter I love her, and we're gonna end the day on a beautiful, beautiful note, dude. Because that is where God is. There is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. When was the last time you hung out with the John Nightsteak? It's been too long, dude. It's been too long. I lay low, man. Good question, Josh. Yeah, it's been too long. I love those dudes. I love the brothers. Marshall, man. Yeah, time's changing, dude. Yeah, times are changing. I got a good stream tomorrow. We're having a guest on, and the first viewer guest is coming on tomorrow, dude. So hang out tomorrow afternoon around 2. Uma's gonna be FaceTiming or Zooming us from New Mexico. So we're changing. The whole thing's changing, dude. It's beautiful, dude. So God bless you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for keeping me sober tonight, because you do more for me than I could ever do for you. And with that said, God bless. Good night.